My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
All right, guys, welcome to Property Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Kaminsky, filling in for Dave Dubois. And have you ever wondered how someone from Saskatoon is making waves in real estate all the way in Costa Rica? Today, my guest, Jason Bohn, joining us, sharing his secrets of success in investing across borders. Get ready for a journey in financial growth and cross-cultural ventures. Jason, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Yeah, nice. Thanks. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me. Always good to chat about, what's going on and get the word out.
Yeah. So the biggest question that always comes up, and I'm sure you get this all the time, is like, why Costa Rica? Why not just invest in your backyard?
Yeah, good question. My backyard has 2 feet of snow in it right now.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and it's we just got out of minus 53 Celsius. Which I was told was like minus 60 something Fahrenheit. That doesn't even exist to most people.
Yes, minus 67 is
yeah. So that's why. Everybody's always wanting to go. We've made many trips to Mexico, Cuba, Florida, but we're it's come to that point now. It's like, instead of looking for someone else to pay, might as well have my own place and pay me. So.
Well, and that's the thing too, like Florida is nice, but it's in the wintertime, it's still a little bit cool, on a day where the wind is blowing. It's not summertime all the time. So if you really want to get that warm weather all the time, you do have to go a little bit further, Mexico, into the Caribbean, and down into Central America. So there's obviously challenges in investing out there. How do you navigate the cross-border issues? Like, do you know people who have it? How many properties do you have down there? How do you plan on executing that?
Yeah, a lot of it, it's weird how it came up. I've kind of been looking at Costa Rica for a while. I've known a number of people that have looked, some that have gone there, gone into Nicaragua, got attacked by monkeys and said they wouldn't go back to Nicaragua, but that's another story.
Like Belize is another
Costa Rica's
one, right?
Costa Rica's really come up in people's view lately. It's just been voted the #1 travel destination of the year, one of the best places to retire. So a lot of people are paying attention the last 10-15 years kind of thing, and it's really made strides in kind of infrastructure, and the people are really great. They speak English. It's obviously cheaper on the dollar, not with our exchange, but that'll come around, I hope. I just started looking, talking to the people that I knew, where they went, where they like to go, maybe what to avoid, that kind of thing. And it basically funneled me into research, and I found some pre-construction deals that were kind of too hard to pass up. Just kind of made some contacts, and we're pushing through kind of the next stages of contracting and all that kind of stuff. So
that's the one thing I've noticed too, is that it seems to be the people want modernized housing down there, and a lot of the infrastructure is not. The older houses, they're just not like that. And so there's people that are actively doing these infill constructions down there to really bring a kind of North Americanized house to a Central America style construction, because they don't really have those sprawling 1.5 or bungalow things going on. As from what I've heard, I've never been there. I haven't really investigated it that deeply, but that's what I've heard from different people who've been on the show.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, it's, there's towns, there's bigger cities, but they aren't like, a Toronto or a Winnipeg or something. It's still the way that it's always been. And they're still not, you know, they're still not a progressive kind of, modern age country, but they're getting there. They've really done well in advertising, marketing, their Pura Vida lifestyle, everything is slower. There's no rush, no stress, they're doing a really good job of making people aware of what they have to offer. And yeah, to have something that, obviously you're doing this for profit, you want to make some income out of it. So you can't just have, you know, the normal, 2-bedroom kind of little house on the side of town. People are wanting kind of more luxury, or what we're used to, amenities, dishwasher, that kind of stuff. Especially if you want to go for longer than a week. Some people they go down for 3 months. And you kind of want a little bit of what you're used to when you go there. So it's really kind of ramping up. If you look, there's developments all over the place. There are some all-inclusives, but not to the scale of what you think of in Mexico. There's not that many. But they really cater to the people, trying to escape what's outside here right now. So
Yeah, next step is to make a 1,500 unit mobile home park. That would be
tiny homes, a tiny
yeah,
homes. Yeah,
like a
yeah,
tiny home village,
that's right.
1,500 would be a whole village, because that would get you the speed and the modern amenities, and you could probably ship them on, down on a containers and stuff like that. So I really like the idea. Because in real estate it's supply and demand. So do you imagine that the demand is going to continue outpacing the supply that we're seeing here, or is it a fad? Is it a trend?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I'd hate to think of it as a trend just because I have been watching it for, the last 10 years or so, and just seeing what is happening there, and what, progress is happening. It's still, if you get off a main paved road, you're windy, it's a dirt road with potholes, it takes you an hour instead of 10 minutes to get anywhere. But you have to just know that going there and accept that's just the way it is. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, a lot of people are paying attention now, and I think the demand is certainly there, and I don't think it's waning. I think it has increased. I don't think it's hit a plateau yet. It's kind of new because it is a little further out of, it's not what you think of when you think tropical, or right away people are like, oh, let's go to Cabo or
Yeah.
Cancun, or let's go to Bahamas or something. Um, and I think,
I think it
what
has
they
a
have
lot
and
to
what they
do
offer.
with, yeah, I think it has a lot to do with Mexico has been advertising longer than Costa Rica. Like
Yeah,
when you opened with the beginning, like, oh, people are wanting to retire and da da da. It's like, yeah, says the tourism pamphlet as well, right? Like
yeah,
the countries are actively, um, just like Manitoba puts out travel Manitoba to Ontario to get them people to come fishing. Costa Rica is putting out its own, come and spend your money here
yeah.
advertising. And um, in your opinion, is the where do you see the horizon on that? Because there's always a point of diminishing return where you're like, okay, now it's less and less feasible every year. Like, do we have 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? What's the investment horizon in your opinion on that particular avenue?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just kind of getting in there right now.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago would have been a great time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do they say? Today is the best. Yesterday was the best. Today is okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's kind of where we are. We're kind of at that tip of growth. I think it will get you know, I've talked to other people as well, and other developers and stuff. Some of their projects are still 5 years away from completion.
Mm.
Um, and these are big sprawling kind of places. So, if you think that they're only going to be open in 4 to 5 years, uh, I think that would be stretch that out to, 10, 15. And I think we're still looking at a reasonable, development kind of situation there.
So what are you doing to fund these projects? Because it's not like you can just go to the bank down there.
No, they do have bankers that will help you, but yeah, you don't just go get a second mortgage.
Like, here's that bag of money you want.
Yeah, if I
Is
had
this a
one, I
bank
would.
or is this a
Yeah.
par?
Um, it- it's funny because a lot of people are talking about kind of crowd-funded real estate. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of in that world before that term really, before I started hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but at this point, it is kind of family, friends, maybe some outside investors that I know that they maybe can bring to me, that are willing to kind of jump on and invest in something that we will own, that we can also rent and make some income on it as well. So that's where I'm at now. Once I've looked at even starting a fund, because there are real estate funds that way. I'm just kind of learning that, so I'm not there yet, but uh, I'm starting there, and then we'll see what happens, and maybe I can take what I bring in from from that group, that close group to me, and see if I can expand and maybe bring some other outside money in.
So what's one of your strategies that you're using to get access to, existing contact? What are you doing to drum up the business within your existing network?
Well, I was telling everyone that I was going there. We were actually, my wife and I had a trip planned there just a couple weeks ago here, early January.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole weather flight kind of thing, we got canceled 5 separate times and basically blew our trip out of the water, so we had to cancel. But we're looking at going in February. I really want to just get there and kind of show people what it is, what we could have, what will be there,
Mm-hmm.
and just make people kind of interested and intrigued and excited about, like, oh, geez, yeah, I never really thought I could own a place in Costa Rica. I mean, neither did I until, 6 months ago. But it is possible. And, you know, by coming together, it makes it a lot easier than trying to do anything on your own. So I'm just doing what do they call it, organic right now.
Mm-hmm.
Reaching out, telling people how crazy I am, to think about doing
Well, I'm
something like this.
sure I'm sure people will appreciate uh, the photos and video when it's minus 35
Yeah.
and it's hitting the social media feed. They'll be like, they might be a little bit angry, but also
Yeah.
appreciative. Maybe they could turn the heat up in their house and watch the video.
Yeah. And I mean, if I can turn that anger into like, oh, he's doing it, why can't I? Well, actually, you can just, jump on and let's ride this as far as we can and make a lasting, um, lasting legacy, I guess. So.
So when you're doing these investments, or at least prospecting on these investments, are you a kind of finding the deal first and then getting the money together, or do you prefer to have the capital lined up and then go looking for deals?
This one, I've done it. I had another opportunity come across in Cabo that I had some money lined up, that to come along with me on the deal.
Mm,
And then after just kind of looking harder at it and running numbers and researching, I've been to Cabo and it just really isn't my kind of thing.
mm-hmm,
So we kind of backed away. I don't. Yeah, they actually, they aren't pursuing it either, but on this particular deal, I've kind of found it, put everything in place. I have a deposit of my own, so it is real. Like I have something I can take to people and show, this, I have this, no one else has it. This is our deal. So I'm on this one
mm-hmm.
particular one, I found it, I have it kind of on the books, and then I can take it to bring the money in. So.
So, for people to invest with you, typically you're going to have to go through the whole pitch deck thing and present it in a way. How do you go about doing that, being that it's kind of, you haven't built it yet. It's still just in the idea stage.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, and I mean, showing people numbers that, I guess it's not like it's impossible, and it has happened. People have done it. So you can show real world kind of numbers and situations.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. It's like people are like, well, what do you mean I have to put in money and I have to wait 2 years till it's built before I get, like,
Yeah.
that's part of the deal. But on something like that, we're getting in at 200. 200 and some $1,000 discount, right? So you can get it now, and by the time it's built, we've already added, you know, as soon as we get the keys, we're already above what we
Ahead.
put in, we're ahead.
Yeah.
So if and some people just can't see that, don't want to open up to that, and some are like, oh yeah, well, geez, maybe a small investment now isn't a bad idea for the future. So it's kind of, it's both ways. You have people on both sides being like, oh, yeah, and oh no. So you kind of have to just deal with each one separately. But
Yeah, so for people to invest significant amounts of capital with you, they ultimately need to like, know, and trust you. What are you doing for those sorts of things as far as your like social media and websites are concerned?
I mean, right now, like I said, right now it's still pretty warm market that
Hmm.
I'm hitting, and I'm just getting I guess I'm finalizing pitch deck stuff.
Hmm.
A lot of that would have included videos and interviews and
Yeah, because you're
pictures and
gonna make
stuff.
it down there, right?
Right. So I'm hope that'll get kind of finalized, and then that's kind of like the cherry on top, right? It's like this is this is our spot. We're 2 minutes to the beach right here. This is our beautiful blue water. Here's the snorkeling site. Like, and that's what people want to see. They don't really care about numbers.
Hmm.
Well, some of them do a lot, but if you can show them that kind of that carrot, and be like, this is real. It's not just, I didn't draw this on a piece of paper. It's not AI.
Hmm.
Then people really kind of, I'm still playing the warm market, and hopefully that works for me.
Yeah, I mean, the real footage should really help to tip the scales for you. So if people want to get access to that footage and want to find out more, they want to connect with you, what should they do?
Uh, I'm on Instagram at jbon5. I also have Facebook just under my name, Jason Bohn. Can reach out. I'm also kind of learning as I go.
Hmm.
So as far as people being interested in what I'm doing, there might be somebody out there that has kind of played that game or walked that bridge already, and I'm open to criticism and advice as well. So.
Cool, cool. Well, I appreciate you stopping by and letting people know a little bit more about Costa Rica, because I guess you say Costa Rica. Canadians right now in the wintertime love to think about not being in Canada. So
Yeah.
you definitely have a product that is in demand, certainly January through June and October through pretty much about 8 months of the year. So
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
yeah, I really appreciate you stopping by, John.
Yeah, that's great. All right.
Okay, talk to you soon, Jason. And until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.